Charlie Winters here with tips for, I forgot what day it is, Thursday the 24th of February. The selections are as follows. I shall be giving you them very shortly. Obviously, the 23rd, which is currently today, there was no selections. I didn't like the cards. I'm not giving you selections for the sake of it. These four today, I've got one dog call, so I'm going to give you that last. It's none of this, I'll keep them hanging on. I'm going to get to it as quick as possible. I really, really like the look of these. It's one of them where we could have a really good day, or basically I was just wrong. But I'm going to explain to you why I fancy these horses. Right, let's scroll down, or I'll scroll down, you just watch. Right, you know about the profit and loss. For those of you who's been there from the start, we are now sitting with a bank of £452.36. That was from an original £300. Okay, so let's go. Racing tips for Thursday, the 23rd of February, are as follows. The stake is a 40p each way lucky 15 and £1 each way singles. A total stake of £20. The lucky 15 comes to £12. The individual singles is a total of £8. I've targeted the Paddy extra place races apart from the last race, and I'll explain every single selection. The first is Tistahal in the 127 at Southwell. My rating is 7 out of 10, and it's a 14-1 chance. This price is currently available on Paddy Power at 14-1. You will see 15.0. It's the same thing. The second selection is Trevi Fountain in the 1252 at Southwell. A 7.5 out of 10 chance, and that's priced up at 8-1 on Paddy, and that's 4 places instead of 3. The third selection is Avithos in the 5-4 race at Sedgefield. That's a 7 out of 2 chance, and it's priced up at 13-2. Also, Paddy 4 places. And finally, Made in Mendip in the 220 at Sedgefield. 7 out of 10 chance, and that's 11-2 with Paddy. That is not an extra place race. Right, I'll explain to you very shortly. Right, let's get the formal. Every single race where I pick a selection, I'll always look for possible chinks in the armoury of the favourites or the fancied horses, whether that's a long time off, whether I think they've won too many, and finally they're about as good as what they are. So let me go to Tistahal and I'll explain. Right, Tistahal. 1 second, I'll just straighten the screen up. Right, there you go. So this horse was previously owned by Hamdan Al Maktoum and then the Shadwell Estate Company. Obviously, they thought Tregonin thought it was no good or found it hard to train and got rid of it. They only keep the decent horses. So let's scroll down. So let's take it quite literally. Okay appearance, first time out on its debut. Yeah, beaten 11 lengths. Yeah, something weren't right. So in the winter, wins surgery, gelded. Let's see if we can make this into a proper racehorse. Bath, 5.5 furlong, ran okay, rating a 69 RPR. 40 then at Lingfield. Obviously they made a decision, send it to the sales. So this is where your Anthony Brittons, this is where your Michael Applebys, all pick up these cheap horses. Right. Let's see it run. Right, Tuck Keen Old. Yeah, let's see how much speed it's got. Over 6 furlong, right? Plenty of speed, yeah. Get it. Ran 2-3. This is the run I'm keeping an eye on. Or one of 2 runs. Right, first time headgear. Over a trip that's shorter. In a better race than it's running in today. In rear on far side, ridden outpace, some headway up the centre. Yeah, if it needs further, it's going to be making late headway. 6 furlong. Yep. Took keen hold towards rear on near side, push long, weakened. Right. I'm discounting that run. So it's upped in trip. So if you're looking at that 6 furlong race, you would expect it. Well, Took keen hold, never featured. You think it'll get dropped in distance? Well, this is where I find it interesting. Now I can click on it, but I don't want to confuse me. Well, in fact, I will click on it. So it's been stepped up in trip, yeah? And this is a much better race, and I shall show you why in a minute. Held up in rear, ridden an outpace of 2 out. kept on when no chance, right? So it finished pretty well, beaten 8 lengths, right? It was a race when it never ever would have stood a chance of having a chance. So I'll click on it. So there we are, right? I'm going to go by Racing Post ratings. So you've got the favourite, 88 Racing Post rating, yeah? Chase leaders, second horse, Lead. It was the second favourite, yeah? Basically, rated 78, and I always class it, when I see the 78, as though it's ran its race, it's ran up to its form. So then behind it, obviously them two pulled well clear, yeah? You got this horse raced in second, and then you got Tisdale, never really in it, but was, I say closing, was making ground at the end, right? I think that's its best run, or one of 2 best runs. I think there's improvement to be had in this horse. I do think it will run better. Southwell is a... Sorry, 1 second. Southwell is a bit of a speed favourite horse, but it's shown speed on its first run. Let me just unplug my phone. Sorry about that. This is a much easier race it's running in today over a very different track. I believe it'll be mid-division or even prominent, this horse. But we don't want to do too much too early. As you can see, it's now rated 58, which is not far off of the best efforts so far. Yeah, I think it's not been placed to advantage unless you're thinking today is the race for it. And I think today could be the race for it. You've got the claimer, Mark Willigan, rides it. Well, he rode it when it was here. It was only beaten 5 lengths over 5 furlong. I think it wants this distance today, which is 7 furlong, yeah? I think it wants this distance. And it ran a decent race over it last time on a different track. This was a shocking race. I think it says 12 to 1 there. I can't remember what price I actually said it was. I'll have a quick look. 14s. First 4 places, yeah? I think it's got a cracking chance of filling the places. Right, I don't want to ramble on too long. Trevi Fountain is ridden by Joanne Mason. I am not a fan of this jockey, but it's an apprentice race. And although my previous selection is ridden by an apprentice, I always prefer an apprentice where they've lost a claim or they're only claiming 3. Yeah, and I'm kind of going back on what I said in the previous race, but in this particular race, I'm looking at it, and I think Joanne Mason, this horse has got the habit of starting slow. But if it can break on terms or she can get competitive, I can't see how it can be out the first 4. It's 8 to 1. It's not a massive price, but I think under a professional rider now, I think this horse has got a cracking chance of finishing the first 4. 8 to 1, decent price. Third horse is Avithos. Right, I read about the Racing Post comments by saying it's not had the best of seasons, but I firstly want to state that Avithos won this race last year, and it was in better form. I think it had won its previous race, or the 2 previous races. But regardless of that, I think this trainer knows how good this horse is, and I think it's not any better than it was last year or than it is now. You're not going to turn it from what it is now into a 100 rated handicapper. I think they've plotted this horse to run very well today. Let's put it that way. Brian Hughes has ridden this horse, or will have ridden this horse, twice after tomorrow. He's only ever ridden it on its previous win in this race. And a year later is his only ever mount again on it in this race. It's 13 to 2. It's atrocious ground. It was atrocious ground when it won here last time. And I think personally what they've done is they've ran a horse where we don't know. Maybe it was as fat as a pig when it ran this year, yeah? And they've got the handicap mark down. It actually runs off £4 lower now. So it could strip fitter. I'm only surmising. This is what I think. It could strip fitter. It's been targeted for this race, and it's actually £4 lower than when it won last year. It's not a good race. I was actually looking at something to beat it, and I can't really see anything that I fancy convincingly to beat this horse, because it's proven on exactly the same trip and going as last year. £4 better off. So yeah, that is my selection. And this is the horse I'm most interested in. It doesn't mean it could come nowhere. It's shown no form whatsoever. The horse is made in Mendip. This is only 3 places, and unfortunately, this is an 8-horse race. And I'm saying unfortunately because one taken out and it's the first 2, but I do not want to put you off. And here's why. Right, let's have a quick look at the form. Right, Made in Mendip. First of all, I should have done this beforehand, but Christian Williams, it's too late to show you now. In fact, can I just click on it? In fact, I can. So I'll go in reverse order. Right, Christian Williams. Trains in Glamorgan. Well, my geography isn't great, but Glamorgan is not next door to Sedgefield. It's a fair trek, yeah. It's renowned for training these horses in the sea, or at least letting them relax in the sea. I was going to show you this last, right? Because I want to show how it's got no form whatsoever. So why would you send the horse on such a trek with no form? And supposedly, nah, not a chance. Well, look at that strike rate at Sedgefield. He sent 12 horses there. 5 have won, 2 have come second, and 1 have come fourth. So out of 12 runners, 8, if you count the first 4, 8 have filled the placings. Yeah, that's ridiculous. I've tried to click on it, it won't sort itself out. Oh, it has done that. It's his second best strike rate, right? And this is a horse with no form whatsoever. And I shall take you through that now. Right, Made in Mendip. Right, this is a horse, right? It's running in a 3-mile 3 chase. Yep, there we go, 3-mile 3 chase. Excuse me. Right, on its debut, yeah, a track not too far from where he trains. Yep, had a nice run out, and probably his best ever run on the. But that was on heavy, which was fine. Then Wincanton hurdle track. Right, let's have a quick look at right-handed. Personally, if you're not with the pace, you're going to struggle at Wincanton, yeah? And my local track, Southwell, yep, left-handed short track. It's running over 3-mile 3 today, so you think, well, why is it running over such a short track of a 2.5 mile at Southwell, right? Didn't jump well, basically, couldn't go with them, couldn't live with them, and it doesn't surprise us. Right, Lingfield, heavy ground. It's actually dropped in distance, 2 mile. It's like, what? Nothing, right? 200 to 1. Yep. On outer, so it also raced wide, taking the longer course. Or the longer route, sorry, right? It got over that, and then all of a sudden, hey, oh, what's that 11 to 2 slump for? It's never been less than 40s. Oh, yeah. It was a handicap, and a much better handicap than today. Over, a markedly step up and trip. On soft ground, which is very similar to today, but it's a bit further today at Sedgefield. Right, what did it do? Held up in rear, pushed along briefly 6 out. Well, if you get too far behind at Chepstow, you've got no chance. You can't get your hooves or your legs out of that turf when it's tough. You don't make ground from a very, very long way out. Pushed along briefly 6, jumped right, pushed along, never mind, and became detached from 4 or 5 out, pulled up, yeah? You think, Charlie, what are you thinking? Well, this horse has got no weight whatsoever, yeah? Or should I say, it's hardly completed, and it's hardly competed, right? And it's sending it from pretty much one half of the country to the other half, yeah? Or one end to the other end. For a race. It's like, well, why not just send it to its local track? Why? Because I think it's got a cracking handicap mark where it looks like it's built. I'll say built for a chaser. It looks like they're sending it chasing very early on, aren't they? Basically, it's acquired its handicap mark over 3 hurdle races where it never had a chance, never ever would have had a chance, yeah. And then now they're sending it chasing. So over a lot further. I think this could be anything in this race. Don't get me wrong, it's heavy ground. It could absolutely hack up. It could run once again how it's been running already, doing nothing. I fancy this horse today. Nick Schofield's ridden it twice now. Yeah, Nick Schofield takes them out today. I fancy this horse today, and it could not go a yard. But it's the darkest horse of the day for me after going through all the cards and all the races. So sorry for being long-winded. This is why I fancy it. I fancy all 4 horses. Really fancy it. I wouldn't give you tips otherwise. The very best of luck tomorrow. You've seen the staking plan. Yeah, these prices are currently available on Paddy Power. All the best. Thumbs up. Leave me a like. You probably haven't even got this far. Give me a like if you have. Give me a subscribe or ask a friend to subscribe. Share it if you can do. Put it on Facebook. I don't mind. Tell a friend. Anyway, the begging bowl's gone now. Cheers. Charlie Winters. Best of luck.